Hello my dear friends, so here's my new project, hexacopter for Ecilop gimbal. Well, to be politically correct, it's not mine. I built it for my friend. It was built by order, so I won't be flying it. So few words about the build. There's a material is PCB 1.6 mil. So I strengthened there at the top and I strengthened there at the bottom as well, because there's a big hole in there to make sure I don't have any flexibility on the frame. Landing gear is the cheap Chinese landing gear, so I had to split it in half and then connect it with a fiberglass strip to make sure there's no breakage, and it actually springs very well for a bit of a hard landing. I just strapped the gimbal because it's not activated. I'm still waiting on the servos and gyros in there. Stuck on the battery, 480 grams. That will represent a Sony Nex5 camera with a big lens. Motor to motor distance across is 650 mil, so it will fit 11-inch props as well. I'll be testing it now. With 10-inch props. So I have a fair bit of gap. There's a FPV mount ready to go, GPS mount for NASA. So I will be testing now on 4-cell. I have two batteries by 3 amp 4-cell, so 6 amp in capacity altogether. That's 700 grams altogether. That brings the whole copter. It's a 2.9 kilos all up flying weight. So 700 grams of a batteries, that would be 500 grams for the battery at approximately 5 amp capacity 4-cell battery, and the 200 gram extra, that would be representing the servos, two gyros, and the FPV system with the camera mount. So it will be flown with NASA, with GPS, but I'll be testing with my KK2 board, as I know these boards inside and out. And don't be confused the way that I mounted there. On the new firmware 1.5, the motor rotations I actually changed for the hexacopter. So I'll be testing on plus configuration there, because everything is soldered. ESCs, by the way, Hobby King 30M series ESCs, they are soldered to fit the NASA motor rotation. Forgot to mention the motors. There's the Sunny Sky V221611 900 kVs. I tested that on 4-cell. They work grand on the 10x6 props. These are the cheapest props from Hobby King, and they're not efficient. I think this fellow will be ordering a Graupner 10x5 run on 4 cells. So rear booms are a bit of a bright side because it will be flown loss as well as FPV. So we'll see. Strap the gimbal for the testing, make sure it doesn't wobble around. It's all so far. I want to know what flying time will I have and what maximum weight I can get from that. So let's get outside and check how she goes. Let's see what we can get out today. Now raining. I have a little gap for the 10 minutes till it starts again. So let's check it how she goes now. A little bit of a trimming Controller is not set up anything. It's only the default settings on the 1.2 firmware on the KK2. However, slightly above 50% throttle. I can feel that she's heavy. Of course, controller needs to be set it up. Doesn't hold the yaw. I have my timer on. We'll see how long will I hover with a 6 amp capacity. Well, I got 8.5 minutes of easy hovering, but that's bear in mind that the batteries are old and the only 20C discharge rate. So I think well, what it is here, it's max performance for these motors. The motors are only barely warm. Props are not efficient at all. So at 2.9 kilos, that's probably the maximum weight that I can get with this yoke. So be waiting on the servos and gyros for the gimbal, test it up, and we'll be good to go.